Born of nuclear radiation and destined to walk the earth forever, welcome to Godzilla Reviewthon! What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeek Mixer here, ready to give you guys the 9th installment to the Godzilla franchise, Destroy All Monsters. Now, just to let y'all know, it's not Godzilla trying to destroy all monsters, it's the humans. It's the humans, okay? Because the thing is, back when I was little and I showed my friend the cover case, he thought that was Godzilla who was supposed to destroy all the monsters, until I told him, no, it's the humans that are trying to destroy all the monsters. And now, this movie was made in 1968, but in the film itself, the story of it is set in 1999, close to the end. Close to the 20th century, closing of the 20th century. Now, it was directed by Ishiro Hoda, the producer, Tomoyaki. Not Tomoyaki. No, wait, I got that right. Tomoyaki Tanaka. And then the music was composed by Akira Ifukube. Yeah, pretty much the original forefathers to make the first Godzilla movie decided to get on this one. And time-wise, you could pretty much call this one, if you want, the ending of the first era of Godzilla, that being the Showa era. But let's go ahead and get right into what the story is all about. So, like I said, set in 1999, all the world's monsters have been collected and are put on an island called Ogasawara Island, but it's really named Monster Island. And as I said, it's all the monsters all together on one island where people can study them and keep them safe on that island. Like, keep them on that island from leaving the island, and they can live in peace. And like I said, scientists who are on that island in an underground science center can study the monsters. And all this happened due to an organization known as the United Nations Science Community. They are the ones who got all the monsters together. And the monsters on this island are Godzilla, Rodan, Anguirus, Mothra, Gorosaurus, Godzilla's son, Minya, Spiga, Baragon, Manda, and Baron. So yeah, lots of monsters on that island. And all things are good until one day, when the scientists are on that island, they get knocked out by a gas. And not only them, but the monsters also get knocked out. Then later on, next thing you know, the monsters have escaped the island. You got Rodan in Moscow, Godzilla in New York City, and Gorosaurus in Paris. Now with Gorosaurus, that was actually supposed to be Baragon in that scene, but for some reason they switched it to Gorosaurus, but whatever. But in either case, the main characters of the story are siblings. You got Katsuyo Yamabe and then his sister Kyoko Yamabe. Now, Kyoko Yamabe is being controlled by a race of aliens who are also controlling the monsters. They are known as the Keloks. They are from a planet that's in between Mars and Jupiter. And the reason they're on that island they're on Earth, is because they need to destroy some of the civilizations so they can create a science utopia. Now, they never really give us why, but my guess is maybe because some of their technology they have just aren't working out on their planet or something. Who knows, really? We didn't really give much of a good explanation into that. But as I said, they're the ones controlling the monsters. But they're not only controlling the monsters, they're also controlling Katsuyo's sister, Kyoko. And not only that, but they're controlling some of the others. Now, eventually they capture them, but one of them commits suicide, and the others are able to escape from them. And it's during this time that they figure out these aliens are have some sort of big vulnerable weakness to low temperature, because they seem to thrive off on heat, but when it comes to low temperature, they don't do so well out there. But here's where I'm now going to get into something weird. So it's been made worldwide on who's being controlled, and the people and those guys who are being controlled are out there in public, and these people are like right there by them and not seeing these guys. It's clear as day it's them, but they're being like, no, it can't be them. There was even this one time when Kyoko was coming off the subway, and these guys were looking at her, checking her, and I'm just like, look at her face. She fits the picture. Come on. Because seriously, what was wrong with these guys? It was so easy to know that it was them. But oh no, they had to be dumb. And things get worse for them because the monsters once again attack. You got Rodan, you got Godzilla, you got Manta attacking Tokyo. And no matter what, the military can't stop them. But they eventually start to figure out a way of how they're controlling the monsters as well as how they're controlling the people. Now, the reason how they're controlling the people is they seem to have some sort of remote device on their heads or in their ears. Well, with Kyoku, it was there on her earrings, which her brother was able to take off of her, and which she was able to be free of the control. But she couldn't remember anything to help out with finding out the weakness. But like I said, they're eventually able to find the control device that controls the monsters. It wasn't easy though at first, because sometimes when they even got close to Keelog's base, when they found out where they were, which was on Mount Fuji, they realized that Godzilla and Anguirus were guarding them. They even tried on foot, but that wasn't working either. But somehow they were able to eventually find out where they were really at up on a moon base, where also they found the control panel which is used to control the monsters. This is where we get into this intense scene where they're using this gun, this heat ray, which takes a very long damn time for them to melt that thing just to get them to not control the monsters, or better yet, get the aliens control off the monsters, and now they control the monsters. This is where it all leads into the ending, which is really where, if I were you guys, I'd just get to that scene, because that's where the real fight is at. All the monsters are now back in human control, and they're all aligning together on Mount Fuji to take out the Keelog space. And since the monsters have been out of their control, the Keelog send in their secret weapon, King Ghidorah. And this is where we get the scene where King Ghidorah is fighting all the Earth monsters, mainly Godzilla, Anguirus, Rodan at first in the first half of the fight, and then Gorosaurus along with Mothra and Spiga. The other ones just start standing around doing nothing. Oh, and Godzilla's son gets a little action in too. But I will say, while it was a great fight, as y'all all know with King Ghidorah, he fought Godzilla and Rodan, and he hardly stood a chance. So I could tell you straight up, in this fight, he stood no chance. All these monsters going at him, but at the beginning of the fight, he did a pretty good number, like on Anguirus. Like Anguirus tried to grab on, and Ghidorah tried to fly off, but he kept holding on. He lets Anguirus go of one of his heads, and that guy just smashes right down on the floor, on the Earth, which exposes actually the Keelog space. But on that here later. And King Ghidorah, right after he knocks Anguirus out, he lands on him and just starts crushing him. When I first saw that, I at first thought that Anguirus was dead, but that wasn't the case. Just gave him a really crushing defeat for a minute there, making him knocked out for a bit, but not too long. But in either case, once they got Ghidorah down on his feet, thanks to Gorosaurus' kangaroo kick, they pretty much just defeated him. But then there was also that final scene where Minya used his smoke breath ring to strangle the middle head, and that was the end of King Ghidorah. And like I said, if King Ghidorah can get beat by Godzilla and Rodan, there's no way he can take on all these monsters alone. I don't know if the Keeloks were doing their homework when they realized who they were making King Ghidorah face. I mean, if you can't beat Godzilla and Rodan together, how are you gonna beat all those Earth monsters together? Seriously. But in either case, like I said, during the fight, the Keelog space was exposed. Godzilla found them, and then he destroyed them. And this is also where we were given the true form of the Keelogs. They seem to be some sort of worms who can barely move, and when they do, they go inside this rock. Weird, isn't it? But other than that, the only left thing there was that there was a burning monster that the Keeloks had, but it was really nothing that bad. It was just a flying saucer that was on fire, and the humans were able to defeat it quickly. And in the last scene, you had the brother and sister looking at all the monsters gathered on the island living peacefully, and that's pretty much all it was. And this movie, it was okay. It wasn't really that good. it was an okay thing for having all those monsters together, but you didn't really get most of them. Most of them didn't really have much of a role. Like I said at the beginning, Gorosaurus' role when he came out of Paris from burying underground, that was meant for Baragon, but they switched it to Gorosaurus. And Baragon and Baron really only had cameos. And same with Spyga. Mothra also had a few roles in there, but the ones who really had big roles were really Godzilla, his son, Anguirus, and Rodan, with a few central roles for Gorosaurus and this one central role for Manda when he's helping Godzilla and Rodan destroy the city. But if I were you guys, I would switch all the way to the end because that's where the real stuff begins. Because this film is mostly, for the most part, until the end, it's the humans facing the key locks, with the humans trying to break the control of the monsters from the Keylocks people. Seeing the Keylocks had control of the monsters for the most part of the first film. Those humans were trying to break their control on them, which they did, and then the Keylocks sent King Ghidorah out to fight. But like I said, I would recommend you just go to the ending of the film. Otherwise, there's really not much to it. It was an okay film. The budget they did for it was good for it. And I will say though, I did love Fukubi's music, the music he composed, especially the army music that went on when they were firing on those monsters during them destroying the city. I love that, so I'll give it props for that. But other than that, there wasn't really much to it. So if you guys were wanting to see this film, I recommend you skip straight over to the end if you're just looking for some of the monster action film. But if you want to see what the whole story is about, you'll need to watch the whole thing. But I can tell you, when with these humans, even when I was watching it, it's just like saying to myself, "Oh, this is taking so long. Where are the monsters at?" But that's back when I was young and everything. But either case, I hope you guys enjoy my video. And if you enjoy my videos, all you gotta do is click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified of more videos. And I'll be seeing you guys on the next Godzilla Reviewthon. And until then, MegaGeek Mixer signing out. Bye!